Protesters are taking to the streets to demand that the government agree to a ceasefire after 6 hostages were executed in Gaza. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is placing all the blame on Hamas, saying whoever murders hostages does not want a deal. Marcus Moore is on the scene in Israel. Good morning, Marcus.
George, good morning. This is the funeral procession for 23-year-old Israeli-American hostage Hersh Goldberg-Polin. You see all of the people here in Jerusalem who have lined the procession route as they go to a nearby cemetery. His murder and that of 5 other hostages sparked deep sorrow and anger across Israel.
Overnight, thousands packing the streets of Tel Aviv to protest the deaths of 6 more hostages. Protesters blocking a highway in Tel Aviv, setting fires, demonstrating against Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's handling of the war. Israeli police seen clashing with protesters, arresting dozens, and using water cannons to disperse the crowd, dragging and pushing them through the streets. Outrage growing after the Israeli Ministry of Health says the 6 hostages were killed, quote, in a number of short-range shots, estimating their deaths occurred 48 to 72 hours before their bodies were examined. The hostages found in Gaza, Israeli-American Hersh Goldberg-Polin among those murdered. Richmond, Virginia Rabbi David Asher, a friend of the Polin family, horrified by the news.
Beautiful boy who was taken way too soon. It's horrible and tragic that so many civilians have died in Gaza during this war.
I spoke with Hersh's mother earlier this summer after a video of him in captivity was released to the public.
Listen, we are pawns in a game. The hostages are pawns in a game. Their families are pawns in a game. And a game that we didn't sign up for.
The head of Hamas's negotiation team saying the hostages could have been brought back alive, claiming Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is the reason for their deaths. Both sides trading blame. Netanyahu saying Sunday, quote, he who murders hostages does not want a deal. An Israeli security official confirming to ABC News 3 of the killed hostages were set to be released, according to a July draft of the ceasefire deal. Aviva, the wife of Israeli-American hostage Keith Siegel, concerned her husband could be killed at any moment.
We need all the hostages home.
This morning, the protest continuing as thousands take to the streets demanding the hostages be released.
And another look at all of the people who had gathered here to pay their respects to the Goldberg-Polin family. There are more than 90 hostages still in Gaza, several of them Americans, and according to officials, the belief is that only half of them are still alive. Families here in Israel urging the Israeli government to accept a ceasefire deal to bring the rest of the hostages home. Michael.
Yeah, our thoughts are with those families there. Thank you so much, Marcus.